Everything we've done, Chiefs have supported us since day one, and send down my heart goes out. We football parents together. So, what me and Sheikah is doing in my life, I take 14 pills a day. I don't look like my daughter said she wished I stopped telling people that, but I do to operate. So a lot of times, if I'm feeling down, Sheikah might be on go, and then I know she's a full-time mom, so sometimes we, can't coordinate it for lack of words. My daughter is on board, of course she drove it, so we're gonna be trying to do more. So I have your contacts, and we did some invites, and I don't, I'm not into the police bashing one way or the other. Right is right, like Chief said, accountability is accountability. But we will try to do more coordinating, and I know it's hard. I live down the street right around the corner from Ray's, so at one time, Friday nights, gunshots, we ain't hit the floor and nothing like that. That's what they do around the corner. But it's quiet down. I know the area that you talk about. So I want to interject that me and Sheikah this is our year, and we said that we've been talking about it, we want to do it, but sometimes when you got real life stuff like work, or sick, it's kind of hard to coordinate it. But I'm making it a effort, trying to make some deadlines. I have to write everything down. So, and so we'll try to coordinate some things and, try to do a little more. Again, this event here, we kind of was last minute, but we wanted to do it because we've been saying we're going to do it. And the more we plan, we don't do it. So the hardest part about doing something is doing it versus saying we're going to do it. So we are going to try to do better.
I just want to try to fix the problem.
Yeah, I understand. And just be proactive. I definitely understand. And that's why we're here.
I'm hoping that we can do is, see, it has to be, it has to be some receptiveness to it. Okay, I can go over and challenge the sheriff deputies on how they conduct themselves in the community, but the first time they go over there and get cussed out, I mean, you just made me look like a fool.
Yeah.
That's right.
And what I'm saying is this, the community has expressed a readiness for reconciliation. That's the bottom line. I can sit here and dwell on the past till I fall dead. But if I don't ever wake up one day and say, okay, now I'm ready for things to change, and I get involved in the process of changing things, then I'm allowing things to stay like they are in my life. And then I begin to look at everybody I see now based on what I've been through and how I see the whole world. So now if everybody in the world is guilty, everybody trying to hold me back, that's the way it's going to come across. I can't maintain a lasting relationship, not even with a female, because now she's trying to hold me back.
Yeah.
Everything she's doing is holding me back. When the bottom line is I'm not dealing with my own issue, and I'm holding my own self back. So I believe that, and this one thing I can tell you, a child can see the heart of a grown-up through their interactions. I mean, you might have been around like I have, where people say, well, I love to work with kids, and you look at the kids and they looking like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Mean as a rattlesnake.
Yeah.
So you saying you like to work with kids, but are you really working with these kids, or are you working on these kids?
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Yeah.
People that are working with the kids and the people that are teaching them the right thing. When they're working with the kids, they can teach them anything they want to because they got a relationship. And that's something that we've got to get back to, is understanding what trusting relationship is all about. If that also comes out on calls in my neighborhood and I can't trust him, he's got a major problem. I mean, I know there are going to be people that's going to play every card there is, but at the end of the day, somewhere along the line, I need to see some humanity in you. That there's a human wearing that uniform, and that you bleed and breathe just like we do.
Exactly.
And that's what every agency is challenged with now. Everybody's got to do that. And some, well, we can't do it. There's too many people. Well, I understand that. And, Chicago, the big places.
And that's true. That's even with this program here. I never get my son. I love him to death, and when I tell you the children you birth can make you want to do something to them real ugly, because you love different. And I was like, man, I told my dad he got to get out of here. He can't come here. I've been hurt that boy. I've been in jail. Mess with him. But then I had to sit back, and one day I told my dad, I was like, I want to deal with trouble you? How can I want to deal with trouble you and don't want to deal with my own? That don't
Well,
add up, you
But
know?
then, yeah, but then you gotta realize there's only so far we're gonna be able to go.
Exactly.
Because we all were born with the ability to make our own choices. And as soon as a child gets old enough that you no longer can tell them what to do, most times the teenage girls and boys, you know, they start getting real musty, and
You can tell.
and somebody done told them they look good, then they're ready to tell you, well, I don't feel like I need to be doing that. Say, okay, now it's
Wash
time
the
to cut.
dishes. I ain't ate nothing.
It's time to cut cell phones off. It's time to take keys, take tires off of cars. You know, I do whatever I gotta do. But if I gotta take care of you, then I need to have the final say on what is
Yeah, I'm gonna have
in the house. So I know some people say, well, you know, that's a different way to do it. I said, well, you handle your own,
Yeah,
but
I
don't
do.
tell me about your problem.
That's it. That's
You
it.
know, but
and
but
to
it's-
spill over into, and I'm gonna let everybody go. I know you had to go somewhere. I think they're waiting on us probably. But the little story to spill over, my baby, she back now. And I was telling the story about my son. They looking for my son at this time, but her and her ex-boyfriend at the time, they straight A&B student go to PHS. He used to come, follow her, they leave. She called my mama. Police will pull her over. I said, police will pull you over, where you at? Around the corner, I walked out the house in my Ninja Turtle onesie. And look, I said, now y'all look for the son. He ain't in them cars, and I'm need y'all to call PHS and talk to the resource officers. They gonna be late. Cause them straight A student now. Y'all come back right here and look, that boy ain't mind up. He gonna turn himself in. But anyway, I said that to make a joke out of it. I'm saying that in like that we definitely, to piggyback on what you said, we've got to change the mindset, and it got to be a collective, you know, decision. And we just got to start. I mean, a journey of 1,000 miles again with a, you know, single step, and that's my goal. I just wanna jump off in and try. Oh, I guess that means.
they being kicked like that.
Yeah, I think that.
I don't want to say I got though.
Yeah,
Oh, is it over?
I don't want to say it. Yes, sir.
yeah, yes. You have some questions?
Well, I wanted to make a statement in county.
Oh, go ahead.
I didn't know what I was coming to. I just, one of my classmates who belongs to Englewood told me that Attorney Watson and Chief Alexander was speaking here, so I came to see what's going on because I figured it'd be something like this. But from what I gathered since I've been here, this is maybe talking about strained relationships between law enforcement and the community. Well, I want to say one of the problems I see is the media. If it's, because I don't hear everything and don't see everything, I didn't really think we had such a bad relationship in this area, at least in the city. And I only heard of a few incidents with the county. But I think the media is a big source of the problem. Especially our own news here. This is my own opinion, and one other person that I talked to about it, Channel 3, because like they report stuff from all over the country, and it was just the other day, like when the gentleman got shot who was helping the autistic person.
Down South Florida.
Right. Well, for the longest, for a few days until I actually talked about it, I thought it happened in Pensacola. Because when they're reporting this stuff, I'm not saying I'm in the dark, but you only pass it, you run into the story on the news, and they were reporting something else. I said, that happened here, and they finally put a strip up that said national news. But it was Channel 3. I'm thinking this is local news. Well, they need to make that plain that it's national news, that it's happening where it's happening and posted. And that's not helping the relationships at all when you hear about this stuff. And now, as far as interactions with citizens, and when he talked about somebody being cussed out, that'll make him look like whatever he said. I forgot what you said. But a lot of times, though, I think there should be some patience if after the officer, if he can assess the situation and knowing there's not a life-threatening situation, understanding that sometimes they allow people to vent and validate themselves. If they're gonna be loud, let them be loud. I know but it's a human side to that. But I remember watching a cop show. I'm calling it a cop show because I think that's what he used to call it, Bad Boys, some years ago, when at the end of the arrest, after the police, they went back and forth with this person arguing, trying to get them to do whatever they did. The police, he talked to him because the situation was such that it was no immediate threat to life, and they were able to assess that. And at the very last thing, as they were walking off, I would call it a celebration, that they were able to get the person to do what they wanted to do to conform. He said, how to win friends and influence people. And that's what, presuming that, okay, this policeman or that department had been reading this book. And so when you get it, you know, by Dale Carnegie, or taking courses or listening to this, and you learn how to interact with people when they're in diffusing these type of situations. Now that's good theoretically. And maybe, like I say, in a stressful situation, you might not can't do that. But I was wondering, in this de-escalation process, are they looking at things like that, looking at Dale Carnegie, how to win friends and influence people? It's got to be something.
Dale don't come out on the street.
Yeah.
Dale sit in the comfort of his institution, and he go out to your workplace. But I'm gonna tell you something. One of the reasons why they did the CIT training is, number one, to raise awareness and the seriousness and how to detect people who are in a mentally distressed situation. And the goal is to talk them down to where you can get them to ASU. And so a lot of things are not reported. Just last week, they took a lady who told them, don't take me to Lakeview, don't take me to Lakeview. You know, she was like, don't take me to Lakeview. And as soon as they got to Lakeview, she kicked the back windows of the police car. A lot of incidents happen that if you are there, you say, man, I don't know how they deal with that. But that stuff is not going to be on the news. Okay, it's not going to be on the news because it's going to show you more instances where they do go a long ways with a lot of things. But I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm going to get the U.S. Attorney, FDLE, down here, and I want to do an adult workshop where adults get to go and use these simulators, and I want to put you in the shoes of a police officer, and when a person is not complying with what you say, so you can feel some of my stress. Because when you're in that situation, even with the simulator, and you get shot, the psychology of knowing you got shot, even on a video game, should bother you. Okay? And that's why I'm saying, when you go out on the scene of a car, and you're asking somebody to let me see your hands, and they're swinging around, I'm gonna tell you something. If you want to see some crazy stuff, watch some of these fight videos on that come out of these communities on YouTube.
They videotape everything.
You know, a person gets sucker punched. I mean, watch how there's a street swagger that, man, if you're not aware of what's going on, you can get hit and never saw it coming. So to sit up here and say, well, look, I'm going to count to 10. No, I ain't counting to 10. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to ask you to comply. I'm going to give you every opportunity to comply. But at the same time, I got to assess the risk. And if you're the one that's being victimized, you don't want me to be sitting up here trying to play patty cakes.
Yeah.
And your life is in danger. And that's why I don't mind talking about, de-escalation is the same as the CIT training. But we still plug de-escalation in our training because we want people to hear what they're looking for. They're looking for de-escalation. It's in there. It's kind of like the spaghetti sauce. You got to make sure all the main ingredients is in there.
You got to read it and know what you read.
Okay, so we do that. But at the same time, it's more important that you have a relationship of trust, because now you know Officer Holmes, you know Officer Harris, you know Officer Baldwin, whomever. You know them. They patrol your neighborhood. But when they can't get out of them cars and have a conversation, but wait a minute, there's something wrong. Mr. Watson don't usually leave his door open on his car. So now I go over to Mr. Watson, hey man, did you know your door was left open? No, I locked my door. Or I closed my door, I might not have locked it, but it shouldn't have been left open. So now there's a good possibility his car just got burglarized. It's because if I'm riding through the neighborhood, and I ride through enough that I understand the activities in my neighborhood, I can sense when something's wrong. And that's why it's important for your agencies to be adequately staffed so they can spend time in those neighborhoods. You know, if you only come in when something goes down, you know, you might be running from call to call. I can't say that don't nobody want to come out from the sheriff department. you know, I'm not out there. But I can tell you this, we got officers that were intentionally engaged in conversation with the public. And they're not shy about it. And that's why I felt confident. I said, okay, yeah, catch us doing something right. And that's what you're gonna do. That's what those body cameras do. We try to show as much transparency as we can. You know, so it's a challenge from both sides. It's a challenge for leadership. Because as a community, you should not want a law enforcement leader to come in and not sensitive to the things that need to be addressed in the community. And not have a realistic assessment of where his agency is or her agency is and what their standing is with the community. Those are intelligent decisions, and they should be a mandate. And if a person can't do it, then I'm gonna tell you, you shouldn't support it. And that should be through your elected officials. No, I'm not supporting. And see, this is the thing about it. Sometimes we just kind of let it go. Some people say, well, ain't nothing gonna happen anyway. Okay, but you know what? To me, that's a loser mentality. You're just letting it ride. Let me tell you something. If I'm a businessman, and you don't like the way I do business, you're gonna take your business to somebody else. And I'm gonna feel it. You might not be able to come up and tell me to my face, but when I start adding up my profits and losses, man, I'm losing business. And a friend might come and say, well, maybe I ought to check how you're talking to your customers. So that accountability, like I say, is all the way around. It's not just one way. If we want things to change, we got to be accountable. I'm accountable to you, but you ought to be accountable to me. Right now, it's okay to lie to us. That's from the community. It's okay to tell a lie to the police.
Oh, that's my thing.
And I know that by experience. I just got to see.
Cause I had them come up, sit in my living room, honey, this is where we tell the truth at.
Yeah, I just got
don't go to jail for nobody.
Yeah, I was.
She was caught up in the middle of that.
It's not cool to lie to the police because they always find out.
And they knock on my door. I said, Maria don't